Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another I Am 4K video. This will probably be the last video, of course, as I stock up on 4Ks, as I'm relatively new to the 4K malarkey. Plus, I'm pretty much where I want to be, and the 4Ks that are coming out, like the Shizlovsky and Naked Lunch, and the Richard Lester's Musketeer films, you know, everybody will be getting those ones because they're all wonderful. So this will be the last I Am 4K video, I would imagine. So I'm just going to go through a little pile that I've accrued since the last I Am 4K video and try and justify them as much as possible. The first one is the Discrete Charm of the Bourgeoisie. Now, I only had this on Blu-ray in the Studio Canal Louis Buñuel box set, and this one was cheap on eBay because bizarrely I was the only bidder on it. This one has the Blu-ray and the 4K. This is the Buñuel film that actually won an Oscar, which is kind of funny. You know, Delphine Seyrig, Stefano Dran, Fernando Rey, Michel Piccoli. It's like a who's who of world cinema. This is a lot of fun and looks really quite nice in 4K. I wouldn't say it's a huge upgrade over Blu-ray, but it's nice to have it in a standalone edition as opposed to just being a disc in a multi-disc box set. Next, I kind of had to, and it does look pretty gorgeous, it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is a lovely Steelbook edition, again the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is one of the advantages of getting Blu-ray, or getting 4K, sorry. You do have the Blu-ray with most of these releases. It does have a little dent here, but I'm not really that obsessive about Steelbooks if they've got a little dent. Again, it was relatively cheap on eBay. It's a wonderful film and it does look really good on 4K. Next, this was a recommendation by somebody when I was asking what are some 4Ks to get, or is this one worth upgrading to 4K. It's Abel Ferrara's King of New York with a statuesque performance by Christopher Walken, of course, and this is just the 4K with just an art card for Edgar Allan Poe's Horror. This is an upgrade over the Blu-ray, I will say that, and it's wonderful to have more Christopher Walken in 4K, of course. For nostalgia purposes, got Alien in 4K, even though it would be quite good to have Aliens in 4K, but James Cameron is obviously far too busy doing Avatar sequels. Hopefully we'll get The Abyss in 4K that people have been asking for seems decades. This one does look quite nice though. And again, this has the 4K and the Blu-ray. Yes, it is an overrated film, but it's good to see Yaphet Kotto in 4K. Now this one was definitely on my list of I really would like to see that in 4K. This is Del Toro's Devil's Backbone, which I believe to be his best film. It's my favourite Del Toro, and it looks absolutely wonderful. This is one in the Sony Pictures Classics line, the same line that released Orlando, Sally Potter's wonderful film with Tilda Swinton on 4K. This has all the special features, because Del Toro's commentaries are amongst the best commentaries as well, because he's essentially a fan of films as well as being a really good filmmaker. This one just has the 4K disc, but really happy to get the Devil's Backbone in 4K, because it looks absolutely beautiful and it is a beautiful film, and as I say, it's my favourite Del Toro. Next I kind of had to Seven Seal. Again, this was on eBay and it was cheaper than the RRP. You've maybe heard of this film before. The 4K looks rather nice, really pops that wonderful black and white cinematography. Again, this is a 4K and a Blu-ray, but the Seven Seal on 4K does look rather nice. And then finally a recent release that I was very excited about, even though it has kind of split some people, and that's Martin by Second Sight. This is a nice box. It's kind of the same with Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Does it need a 4K? But I think from a restoration point of view, this is the best it's ever looked. When you consider the stock that it was actually shot on, it's never going to look gorgeous, and it shouldn't look gorgeous, because part of it is that dirty, rough feel to the film. But the fact that it is weird to see Tom Savini and George Romero in this film without facial hair. That's kind of off-putting. There's the man himself, who gives a wonderful performance as a modern priest. So it shouldn't look great, but it looks as good as it possibly could. I mean, it's got an amazing book. I think it might actually be one of the thickest Second Sight books, full of lovely photos and stills. Again, you could make the argument this is George Romero's best film, and it's just a lovely addition. I mean, it was delayed and delayed and delayed, but it's certainly worth it. Again, you get the CD soundtrack, which, let's be honest, you generally listen to once and then never listen to again. And again, this has the Blu-ray as well. But it's a film that was kind of forgotten about for years, but hopefully we'll get a bit more attention and a bit more love with this release. And to get it in the best looking condition it's ever looked, I think that is so important. And it's, as I said about 10 times to myself while I was watching it, it's just a shame that Romero wasn't around to actually see this edition, and hopefully see his film get a lot more kind of love and attention that it deserves. So thanks so much for watching. As I say, this will probably be my last I Am 4K, as I've kind of caught up, sort of. But as I said, there's lots of interesting titles coming soon, especially in April, that I will be picking up on 4K, but everybody will, I'm sure. So again, thanks so much for watching. Please leave comments below. Again, some 4Ks that I haven't got that you would recommend. So far I would say I haven't really been disappointed by any of the prints. Obviously sometimes the difference between Blu-ray and 4K is a little bit, and some obviously look astoundingly good. but I haven't really experienced too many bad looking 4Ks. But we'll see. So again, thanks so much for watching, appreciate the support. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.